Hey everyone, welcome to a new video, welcome to my channel, welcome to August palette extravaganza here on my channel. My name is Maaike and today's video is going to be my top 5 drugstore favorite eyeshadow palettes. That's what this is going to be about. I've selected 5 for my collection, and I actually think that when I did like all palette videos last year in August, I also did this, but I've acquired so many new palettes in the past year that my top 5 has completely changed. So these are all palettes that I've tried in the past year or so and that I absolutely love. I don't think there are any doubles compared to last year, but these were just ones when I was going through my drawer with drugstore palettes that these are the ones. These are my favorite drugstore eyeshadow palettes, so let's just get to it. So the first one that I have here on top is this one, and this is the Makeup Revolution or I Heart Revolution Violet palette, or Violet Chocolate. It comes in like this chocolate bar range, but it's not very chocolatey because it has a few pops of purple. So last year, I think this was released at the end of summer, like August-ish, and that's when I got this like straight away. Last year I was trying a lot of Makeup Revolution eyeshadow palettes, and I have to say that I am a little bit over them, but this one was such nice quality, and also in terms of purples in a palette, it is definitely one of the most purple palettes, especially on the more affordable spectrum of things. I made a purple eyeshadow palette video last year, and this was definitely the most purple out of all the palettes that I was able to feature in that video. I'm not talking Huda Beauty Amethyst Obsessions, I'm not talking ColourPop, is it the It's My Pleasure palette, because those hadn't been released yet last year when I made those videos, and I own the Amethyst Obsessions, but that's of course not drugstore. So this is a really good affordable option if you're into purples and you want to make it work, especially this shade here. Amethyst is really nice. You get a matte purple, you get this shimmery number here, you get this really nice one. This is a nice like darker purple as well. But even these like more neutrally shades, they do have a little bit more of a purpley undertone, or they just pair really well with purples as well. It is quite warm tones in terms of neutrals, so that has to be your cup of tea. I find this to be a pretty good affordable option if you're into like looking into Huda Beauty Desert Dusk, but you don't want to splurge 65 euros on a palette, then this may be a good alternative to look into. I really enjoyed the quality, and I think the color story in here is quite unique. That's one of the reasons why I'm a little bit over Makeup Revolution or I Heart Revolution. I find the color stories are very repetitive. They repeat a lot of shades across different palettes, so I'm currently not really into it, even though I had a browse on their website the other day and I was like, ooh, that looks nice, that looks nice, that looks nice. I'm like, Maaike, you really don't need any more eyeshadow. A brand that is a little bit more expensive in terms of drugstore, but I think most people still categorize this brand as drugstore, is NYX. And this is the only palette that I'm not sure whether I featured it last year or not, but this is the Perfect Filter All of You palette. And this, even in terms of NYX, it's not too expensive. It's definitely on their like cheaper range of palettes. I believe their like square palettes are more expensive than these ones, but maybe they have gone up in price since I bought mine. And I really wanted to have this before I owned the Subculture, because this has Subculture vibes. It has that grungy, like fall type eyeshadow, and I really enjoy this khaki green. This is a really nice matte. It pairs really well with this like olive green shade here. I do have to say that I really am into these shades here the most, like this half of the palette more so than these warm tones over here. But that's just me. This makes for a really great inner corner highlight. You can do a really nice all green look with this, but you can also pull in some of the other shades, and the quality is really nice of this as well. I think this is like, I like this quality better over the NYX Square like Ultimate palettes that I have one of those as well, but this was really nice quality, and I do really like the color story in this as well. Talking about color story, I was definitely a little bit late to hop onto this bandwagon. ColourPop Dream Street. And ColourPop Dream Street is of course a palette that is very affordable, but especially if you're in Europe, you need to get this from the States. So that makes it a bit more expensive, but I think in the end, it comes down to the same price point as a NYX palette over here. So if you buy just this palette and you pay for shipping, you don't have to pay extra customs, and it will be fine. And this was a palette that when I wanted to, like, I own mostly ColourPop singles, so I don't have too many of their palettes, but I wanted to try one, and as I was browsing through their offerings, this was before they started doing all of the monochromatic palettes. As I was browsing the website, I just thought that this color story was one that was a bit more unique to my collection, that I thought I could get down with. I really like the quality. I love the teals that you get in here. These like warm tones I could have done without. This is a really nice, pretty shimmer. I do feel that some of these shades are a little bit samey. It's an issue I have with a lot of ColourPop palettes, actually. But yeah, this is a really nice standard neutral palette, but that offers you a pop of color that isn't just a straight up blue, but that's more of like a teal shade, and I do really like that. So this Kathleen Lights and ColourPop Dream Street palette, it is as good as everybody says it is. Then a very new favorite to me is this one, and I hope I don't blind you with this. This is the Milani Soft and Sultry palette. This is such a great palette. In terms of cool tones, it's not super cool toned, but you can definitely make a look that is more cool toned than most things that's on the market right now. Especially this row in the middle, I love it. I'm really, really down with it. Of course, another more expensive palette, because these are quite pricey. Over here, they retail for 25 euros. That's quite a lot of money for a drugstore palette. But that being said, it is really, really stunning quality. Really good mattes, really good blendability, great pigmentation, lasts really long on the eyes. I mean, this is half the price of an Urban Decay Naked palette, but I feel that the quality of this is as good as some of my high-end palettes. And that says something, because I'm a bit of an eyeshadow snob. I tend to prefer higher-end palettes over more affordable ones, but this one is definitely up there. This Milani did a really good job making these palettes, and this has been my favorite one that I've tried. And last but not least, to round off my top 5, my favorite eyeshadow palette that is very affordable as well is the Essence Beautiful eyeshadow palette. I think this was released for like fall winter last year. I think that's when this came out. And this is just such a great neutral palette, and it was only $6.99. And for that price point, this quality is out of this world good. Like, I have had a lot of issue with Essence eyeshadow palettes in the past. This is the first one that I really truly think works for me. These do blend away if you overblend, if you go a little hard in on the blending. It definitely doesn't stay put very well. But if you use a light hand, build up the shadows, and sort of take your time, you have a stunning neutral palette in this. You get some warm tones, but you also get some cooler tones. You get like a deep, dark, brownish, blackish shade. You get some shimmers all over the lid, but also for in your inner corner. There's a really good like ratio between mattes and shimmers. There are 5 mattes and 4 shimmers, so that's really nice. You get your brow bone highlight. This is such a great little travel palette. It does have a mirror in the lid as well. It's cardboard, so it won't break. And you have everything you need in one not really bulky palette. So that's a really nice one, and it's super affordable. I do have to say that I already had a look at the products that Essence will be discontinuing for their new fall winter update, and this seems to be on the list. So if you're still hoping to get this, make sure you get it ASAP, because this is going to be disappearing off of shelves. So that would be my top 5 favorite drugstore eyeshadow palettes. Let me know in a comment down below what are yours, because I'm always looking for new recommendations, especially because I'm a bit of a snob. Drugstore recommendations are always more than welcome. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Please give it a thumbs up if you did. Subscribe to my channel. Currently, I'm doing all eyeshadow palette related videos in the month of August, so I hope you would like to stay tuned for that. And with that being said, I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!